What's going on, y'all? It's the next day, or like 2 days later. I don't know. Anyway, I had a couple of other things that I wanted to show you. I got all into my stuff yesterday and forgot to film what I was doing. Like, I moved everything around. I'm sorry, I got sleep all in my eye. Jesus. It's early. It's Sunday morning. It's early. As y'all can hear, the damn rooster is out, letting everybody know to get the hell up. Anyway, I wanted to show you my propagation station. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Garvey. I wanted to show you my propagation station. I wanted to show you what I'm about to plant next. And I still need to show you the air rooting because I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to do that all today. So this is my little propagation station. It's in my window, and I have a noni tree right here. If you've ever had Tahitian noni juice, that's a noni. And this is a sea grape tree, which if you saw the video that I did about wild foraging, I wild foraged these two and took a snip. And so I'm hoping that they'll grow some roots in here. Also, back here in my little situation there is a kaffir lime tree, which seems to be doing okay. Hopefully it'll get some roots. And then these are cuttings that I took from the Barbados cherry tree. The leaves are like barely holding on, but they're still kind of pliable. So I'm guessing that means that there's water going up the stem, even just a little bit, because the other cutting that I took and I put out front and I put some rooting hormone on it and everything and stuck it down in the dirt, that thing is completely dried, completely browned. But these are actually still semi-green, so I'm guessing they're getting some nutrients. I need to change the water. I put some, the way it looks like that, I put sugar in the water to help feed the plants. You know how you do when you have fresh cut flowers. So I need to change that water, and everything looks like the sugar is growing some mold. So I'll change that out. But anyway, these are what are being propagated right now. As well as I have a snake plant back here that it needed, oh, it's all nice and green and beautiful. It needed to get more roots. So the roots need to get longer. So I've been having it in there and it looks like it's doing pretty good. So I'm excited about that. So now I'm going to move on to these. These are pigeon peas. And from what I understand, they each grow into a small, rapidly growing tree. Each tree will grow up to like 6 feet tall or whatever in like 8 months. And then it'll actually produce more peas. So real fast, the story of how I got the pigeon pea seeds. So I have a benefactor. I met an old man at our local soil pile. Out here, when there's soil and stuff and people want to dump it, they dump it over by the on the agricultural fairgrounds, and you can just go and just get the soil or whatever. It's not the best, it's just dirt, but if you mix it with compost and everything, you can do some things with it, and free is free, right? So I'm over there with Miles. We didn't have no shovel or nothing. We had our little garden spade, and the dirt was kind of compacted. So there's this old man over there. That man got to be every bit of like 75, 82. He had a pickaxe and a shovel, and he comes over, his little old self. He looking and seeing what we doing, and he's like, you need this right here. So he lets Miles use the pickaxe. Now, first of all, he got to show that he's still, you know, he still got it. He's still virile. So he's pickaxing at the soil and showing Miles, you know, what to do. So I'm like, all right, let him do it. So Miles starts doing it. He starts talking to me, whatever I tell him about. Oh, I'm gardening, blah, blah, blah. He tells me about what he's gardening, this and the other, right? Okay. So we put all this dirt into a big pot. probably a 10-gallon pot or something. And he's like, that's going to be really heavy. You know, do you mind if I follow you home and then I can help you take it out of the back of the truck? I'm thinking to myself, I got a whole 16-year-old. Like, he's almost 16. Like, he got strong back. But you know what? I'm not even going. Yes, you can help me unload. Like, you could tell, like, he just wanted to make conversation and, you know, whatever. So, elders be really lonely right now. COVID got everybody in the house. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna indulge this man. And if he try to act up, I'm gonna have my 15-year-old beat the brakes off his old ass. Hello. So anyway, he follows us home. Of course, Miles unloads the soil. He tried to grab the bucket or whatever with his old self. It wasn't going nowhere, child. Miles jumped up in the back of that truck, grabbed the whole thing, jumped down. Like, he's a big boy and strong these days. I praise God for him. I swear I do. It's like having an extra man in the house. Ooh, won't he do it? So I'm talking to him, whatever. We have a great conversation. I show him around my garden. He tells me different things. He's like, oh, I can bring you some seeds. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I tell Nick about it because, you know, I don't want Nick to be like, oh, you know, a strange man at the house, and he didn't know. So I'm like, Nick, you know, I met a guy, you know, old man or whatever at the soil pile. He gonna bring me some seeds or whatever. Here go Nick. Oh, you got them thighs out, and them thighs bringing men to our house. I'm like, I guess I got a seed daddy now. He like, so you gonna call him Sugar Seed Zaddy? Seed Zaddy? I'm like, I guess so. So he like, when he coming back? I'm like, he be back around, you know, 5 o'clock. He was like, make it 6 o'clock and make sure that he come back after I'm back. So anyway, Seed Zaddy came back. He pulled up. He had the pigeon peas. He had cayenne pepper seeds, and he had bitter melon seeds. And he also brought me some bitter melon from his yard so that I could see what it tastes like in advance of planting it. So that was cute. But the next time that he came, he pulled up to the back gate, and Nick happened to be there or whatever. And I'm like, oh, Nick, look, it's Seed Zaddy. Like, you want to meet him? Hello? So we went to the back gate and we talked to him or whatever, and he talked all about his life. Come to find out, he's from India. Like, his parents or his grandparents, I think his grandparents were slaves in Trinidad. And so I thought that was interesting, that it was just like two generations ago that people from India were slaves in Trinidad. So of course he has a lot of farming experience, a lot of background. He was able to share a lot of good information with me. So that is my benefactor, Seed Zaddy. I can't remember what his name is. Belshazzar, Bell something Indian. I don't want to mess it up, and I don't really remember it. So Nick was like, so when is the next time that Seed Zaddy is coming? Like, we should invite him to dinner or something, because he was telling us this story, and he was like, just like old and doesn't have a wife or kids or anything like that. So he was like, we should invite him to dinner. Like, you should call him up. I was like, I do not have that man's number, and he does not have mine. Let's keep it all the way real. Like, there's a certain way that we have to operate this relationship, and having my phone number is not one of them. So that's the story of Seed Daddy. So I'm just going to water it in, stuff it with some more compost, and then we're good.